How's it going?
Was there an applause sign somewhere?
Wow.
How's everybody doing?
Yeah, we are fine and we are happy to see you.
Oh, we're happy to see you.
Hi, how do you feel here at Hellfest?
We feel great so far.
We love it. It's our third time, and it's been wonderful for us to, gain a new audience in France, and the people, particularly at metal festivals in Europe. For us, they are very kind and welcoming to Dropkick Murphys. It's been very pleasant surprise.
What he said.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm Peggy from Sing Loud TV Greece. And for some of us, it's very important to relate with the lyrics of the music that we love. Music can be one's psychotherapy and a way to release their anger in a non-violent way. How do you feel when you write your songs? How are lyrics important to you?
Well, I think any song that we do, that we either write, co-write, work together on. I mean, for Dropkick Murphys, I think it has to come from the heart first. It has to come from a place of importance in terms of our own values, our own family values, the way that we were raised. I mean, it's gotta come from a place of, from the heart, honest. You know what I mean? I think that's first and foremost and the most important thing for us. And then to make that connection with the listener, so.
Yeah, I don't think we write many songs from some vague perspective about something we read about in the newspaper. It's usually about life experience or family's history or our upbringing or things we face in our own lives, whether it was things we faced as children, teenagers, or adult life as a parent, or everything. So
because we're parents.
Yeah, it's always personal. Yeah. Thank you.
Hello, Simone Zangarelli from Spazio Rock, Italy.
You gotta speak up a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, in 2006, you received an attack during a live show in Rome by an extreme right political group. After that, do you think you are coming back in Rome, and what is your relationship with Italy?
We love Italy. We just played Italy. It's been great to us. Unfortunately, that was our only time to Rome. That was a very bad night for the people, that were attending the concert.
They threw a mace grenade into the audience.
Yeah.
We had to evacuate.
But we don't travel. We travel with the band, the guys that work for us. And at that particular tour, we had an all-girl band opening for us. We don't travel with security, any of that stuff. So when we arrive at a venue and it has maybe 2 security guards and the show is attacked by 30 to 40 people, it's sad. That does not happen to us. That's maybe in 23 years, the second or third time something like that has happened. So it's a shame on Rome, really. Unfortunately, not all the people of Rome, but obviously the element that exists there, and it's sad. So, yeah, we'll come back.
Yes, we will.
Of course. We'll just get a few more security guards next time.
Hi guys, I'm Martin for Nyak Media, and so you guys are known for many years to give this incredible energy on stage. And I was just wondering, how do you do to keep this energy alive after more than 20 years of career?
So what you're trying to say is, as you get old, how do you keep doing it? I see. You phrased that nicely.
You really did. That was a very polite way of asking how you get 2 guys that are in their mid-40s to do what we do.
The simple answer is music keeps you young, man. We don't feel, I just turned 50. He's a little older. But we feel like we're in our 20s. We sure as hell act like we're in our 20s,
We feed off the audience. The energy from the audience lifts us up, and we feed off each other. And it really is, we're just very lucky to do what we do.
Hi, I'm Harrison from Twin Musics Media
Just
Australia.
waiting for you, man.
This is a signature question to our website. If you could have any band cover one of your songs, which band would you choose? Which song would you choose? And would you like them to do it in their style, or would you like to hear them try and do it like the Dropkick Murphys?
Wow. Well, we've
What a
heard
great
a
question.
few bands that we don't know or particularly like cover some of our songs in this crazy like Viking style, which is pretty intense. That is an awesome question. I mean, obviously, if we're talking like fantasy world, that would never happen. It would be, you know, for us, it would probably be, you know, an AC/DC or something
Bruce
like that.
Springsteen.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Bruce Springsteen sang on our albums. You know, he sang on 2 of our songs, but we've never actually got him to do one of our songs. He's played with us live on them and stuff, and that was pretty awe-inspiring.
But in a fantasy world, it would be awesome to see a band like you said, AC/DC or Iron Maiden, do it like Dropkick Murphy style. That would be a fantasy. That would be amazing. I know our drummer Matt would be very happy
Yeah.
with this.
That's
And
a great
the
question.
DKM crew.
That's the kind of question I'm going to have a few awesome answers for you tomorrow and a week later. And
We real quick, John, to speak to your question, John Fogerty from Creedence Clearwater Revival was quoted in an interview recently and asked, "What artists do you like the versions of your songs?" Aretha Franklin, all these Otis, all these famous artists did versions of John Fogerty songs, Creedence Clearwater CCR songs, and in the interview, he actually name checks Dropkick Murphys as saying he loves our version of Fortunate Son. So
he got that framed and put on his wall, that article.
twice.
Okay. Siam, Mittelmat TV. I have a question. As an artist, how do you feel about climate change today? What is, yeah.
I know I'm too stupid to do anything about it. You know what I mean? I do know that at the festivals, you do start to finally see, you know, a more effort to recycle and be a little more conscious than you would see years ago. It's scary for sure, and you know, I feel like it's above our pay grade. But you're right, people don't on the music side maybe speak out enough about it. You know.
I think I would like to see, in my opinion, less concentration on this perceived climate change and more concentration in cleaning up the oceans, because the plastic in the oceans is the biggest problem we have right now, I think, as a planet, because I think every single fish they're catching these days has plastic in them. So that's the biggest thing. Is the climate is a problem, but the oceans is where we get all our life. So without the oceans, we die. So save the oceans. That's my thing.
I have a 17-year-old daughter.
I'm getting an applause
Yeah.
right now, will you?
It's interesting. I have a 17-year-old daughter. We all have kids, but I have the oldest child, and she's got a mind of her own for sure. And it's interesting when climate change comes up. She's like, "Step aside, old man, because this is a topic for me, because you're going to be gone when it really matters." You know what I mean?
She's already making plans.
And she'll still. Geez, I hope I'm still alive when climate change really matters. But you know, anyway, my point is, the future is, you know, when you have, especially when you have children, and you worry.
My oldest son feels the same way. He's like, it's our generation that has to make the change, and he's 15. He's a couple of years younger than Kenny's oldest, Emma, and he's right there. So it's nice to see that it's important to our children.
It should be, yeah, because. Thanks.
Hi.
Hi.
Sorry. I'm Liz from Twin Musics. What's your favorite memory of watching a different band perform live?
Say that one more time.
What's your favorite memory of watching a different band perform live?
I can tell you right now, my favorite memory was in 2000, seeing Joe Strummer and the Mescaleros play from the stage. And the first 5 songs were Clash songs and Jimmy Cliff songs. And I remember thinking about all my friends I grew up with listening to the Clash, and I had tears streaming down my face. It was like a religious experience That's one of my fondest memories, myself at least.
And then that same show, Finsbury Park with the Pogues, and then afterwards we watched the Pogues from the stage, sitting with Joe Strummer watching the Pogues. So it's like Joe Strummer. You would probably have to say, if you took a poll of the members of Dropkick Murphys, what their favorite bands are, it would probably be, the Clash, the Pogues, and AC/DC, and the highest of those. So to kind of watch one of your favorite artists is Joe Strummer, and then sit with Joe Strummer watching one of your other favorite artists, it's an amazing.
Magic.
And then later that night, Al attacked Shane McGowan, and that's a whole other story, but anyway.
I was drunk. And so was he.
Hi again. It's a fact, and I think that you have realized by now that you have a really big fan base in Greece. How do you think that happened?
We don't know, but we love it. We love the people of Greece. They have been so welcoming and friendly to us, and just passionate to the music. And I will say one thing, I think more than anywhere in Greece that I find interesting is it's a younger fan base, because I think we're a newer band to be, achieving popularity and going there, whereas
It's the worker song.
We also
Maybe,
do
yeah.
we also do choreography, dance moves, Kenny and I, only in Greece. So we think that kids like that too.
whereas in the rest of the countries, they've more, the audience has grown up with us a bit, But yeah, I think the Greek people identify with where we stand and what we sing about, and to me, it's always more fulfilling. I have no problem. We have no problem if people just want to come see us because they think it's catchy and they think it's about getting drunk. That's fine. But a lot of the songs, have a deeper meaning, and when people kind of get it on that level, it's more fulfilling to us, So.
Hey again. So I was wondering.
It's the guy who called us old, Al.
Exactly. I have another tricky question. No. I was just wondering what, in your opinion, makes Irish music and Celtic music so great to party and smile, in your opinion?
Well, I think that it's just for us, the melody of the extra instrumentation. If you're taking a standard rock song, punk rock song, and you have the drive of a banjo line or an accordion riff, it gives the song so much more melody. From a lyrical content, it's the only form of, the Irish are an interesting breed in the sense that, like, the song could be about the greatest celebration, and they sing it like it's a celebration. The song could be about death and horrible things, and they still sing it like it's a celebration, So, it's the spirit. I think it's the spirit overall,
Thanks.
Hi. So I've got a kind of tricky question. There are 4 years between your album in 2007 and 2011. Then you dropped an album in 2013. Then you dropped an album in 2017. So there are 4 years again. And then we have 2019, so 2 years after 2017. I was wondering if an album was coming out.
We're breaking up.
We felt like the last time we put out albums very quick back to back, and we felt like it was too soon. Like nowadays there's so much coming at people, like that.
They don't have the attention span anymore either.
It's almost like we notice when we release an album and we go on tour immediately, the audience only knows the first half of the album. Then you go back a year later, and it's like it took them a year to just get to the second half of the record. So we felt like we released the last album when the album before was still percolating. So I think we've decided to wait a little longer. We have a bunch of songs written and stuff. The biggest challenge for us is with our tour schedule. We tour so much, and then we have children and stuff, and we get home, and
our children want time with us.
Yeah, and getting back to that concept of being like the songs being real, we've never let the music industry drive us. We've always dictated our own career. We've wrote an album. We've never had one person tell us, whether it's a label or management, this is what you need to do. If they were fired right away, because we control our own destiny, and maybe sometimes those decisions that we made were not for the best of the band, but they were for the best of us as human beings. We've always, and I think that's why we're together happily 23 years into it, because we do balance our mental health and our personal lives and our families, and give that a lot of importance, you know. But to answer your question,
We make our own mistakes.
yeah, probably in another year there'll be a new album.
All right. So, hi guys, nice to meet you. I've got two little questions. The first
Speak up a little bit.
How are you guys doing, first of all?
We're doing fabulous. Thank you.
Great. Good to hear. Second question, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much are you looking forward to the concert and like when you're performing this evening?
This is a 12 today.
Is it 12?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah,
Good
it's
to
a
hear.
good
All
one,
right,
yeah.
great. Thanks. That's my question.
That was easy.
Great.
Gonna take one last question here.
Hi, me again.
Hey.
What advice would you give to any musicians, younger musicians, who want to see themselves in your position in the future?
Don't do it.
This is such a crazy question, because when we started 23 years ago, we pressed our own singles. We had our own label. We took out, you know, we got reviews in magazines like Maximum Rock and Roll, and people would mail order for a record. We'd fill the mail order ourselves. We'd silkscreen T-shirts ourselves. I made a catalog that I drew with my own hands. It looks like a 5-year-old drew it. And we would, when someone mail ordered a record, we would put the catalog in and say, these are the other records and T-shirts we have. And then it would take 3 weeks to get to them. And then they would, you know, and the whole process was at such a slow pace. And now it's like, boom, social media, we're going to do this. And it's so different. Yeah. But when you gain those fans at a slow pace like that,
They stay with you.
They stay with you, and there's more value. So, like, in the age of social media where, yes, a band could let it go to their heads of saying, I have so many followers, and I can do this, and I can do that. It's like, yeah, but if you don't get that close connection with them, and I'm not saying you can't do that, but there's ways to let your fan base know who you really are and learn more about you. They need to feel a part of it at a slow pace.
I've done a lot of like coming into schools and talking to little kids, like middle school kids, high school kids, even universities I've gone to and talked about just being a guy in the music industry and being in a band. And some of the first questions I always get, whether it's a little kid or an old person, is the first thing they want to know is, how do I get famous? And I think the most important thing as a young band is not to focus on any of those things. Do the music for yourself, write the songs for yourself, believe in yourself, and when you do that, you know, it's an old adage, if you build it, they will come, you know what I mean? And you got to believe in yourself, but you got to, like you just said, this has been 23 years in the making, and if we had to do it again, I don't know if we would.
I don't know if I would
We
either.
wouldn't change a thing. We wouldn't change a thing, but it's a long haul, and there's no recipe for success. So don't think about success. Think about the love that you have for music, because if you're doing it for ego, for followers, for any of that bullshit, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. Walk away.
Although I will just say in closing on this question, if you do apparently want success fast, it's face tattoos. So.
Thank you, merci.
You're going to drop the mic on that one? Have a good afternoon.